Have you ever noticed that life whispers before it shouts? Most people think change begins with a dramatic event, a lost job, a broken relationship, or a financial crisis. But the truth is, the biggest transformations usually begin with quiet signals that most people ignore. They are easy to dismiss because they don't arrive with flashing lights. They arrive as feelings, patterns, and questions that keep returning until you finally pay attention. Today I want to share 5 powerful signs that may be telling you it's time to reinvent your life. These aren't warnings meant to scare you. They're invitations to grow into the person you're capable of becoming. The first sign is that every day feels almost identical. Routine is useful, but routine without purpose slowly steals your excitement. You wake up at the same time, follow the same schedule, have the same conversations, and end the day wondering where the hours went. Weeks pass, then months. Nothing terrible happens, but nothing meaningful changes either. When you stop creating new experiences, life starts to feel like it's on repeat. You become busy instead of fulfilled. You're moving, but you're not progressing. Growth requires variety. It requires curiosity. It requires moments that stretch your thinking beyond yesterday. Ask yourself this question: when was the last time I did something that genuinely challenged me? If you can't remember, perhaps your life isn't asking you to work harder. Perhaps it's asking you to grow differently. The second sign is that excuses have become more common than action. Every dream demands a price. Unfortunately, excuses are much cheaper. It's easy to say you'll start next month. It's easy to believe you'll have more confidence later. It's easy to wait until circumstances improve. But life rarely becomes easier because you waited. It changes because you acted despite uncertainty. Successful people aren't fearless. They simply refuse to let fear become their permanent address. Every excuse feels reasonable in the moment. That's what makes excuses dangerous. One excuse becomes another. One delay becomes another year. Before long, the future you've imagined becomes a memory of something you never attempted. Action creates momentum. Excuses create regret. Choose carefully which one you practice every day. The third sign is that you've stopped learning. The moment you believe you've learned enough is the moment your progress begins to slow. The world keeps changing. Technology changes. Industries change. People change. If you're not learning, you're falling behind without even realizing. Growth doesn't always require formal education. Sometimes growth means reading 1 chapter before bed. Sometimes it means learning a new skill. Sometimes it means listening more than speaking. The people who continue improving throughout life never assume they've arrived. They stay curious. Curiosity keeps the mind young. Humility keeps improvement possible. The question isn't whether you know enough today. The question is whether you're becoming more capable than you were yesterday. Even 1% of improvement every day creates extraordinary results over time. The fourth sign is that your dreams no longer inspire you. Remember when your goals filled you with energy? Remember when imagining your future made you excited? If those same dreams now feel heavy, don't automatically assume the dream is wrong. Sometimes the dream isn't the problem. Sometimes exhaustion, doubt, or years of settling have simply covered your enthusiasm. Many people slowly lower their expectations because they become tired of waiting. Instead of building the life they truly want, they settle for a life that's merely acceptable. But average satisfaction can quietly replace extraordinary possibility. Never confuse comfort with fulfillment. Comfort keeps you safe. Purpose keeps you alive. If your biggest dream has become something you rarely think about, perhaps it's time to reconnect with why it mattered in the first place. Your future deserves more than occasional attention. It deserves commitment. The fifth sign is that nothing challenges you anymore. Human beings were designed to grow. When your responsibilities never stretch your abilities, your confidence slowly fades. You begin to underestimate yourself because you've stopped asking yourself to do difficult things. Real confidence doesn't come from avoiding challenges. It comes from overcoming them. Every meaningful achievement once looked impossible. Every expert was once inexperienced. Every successful entrepreneur, athlete, artist, or leader began with uncertainty. Growth begins where comfort ends. That doesn't mean chasing unnecessary struggle. It means choosing opportunities that require a stronger version of yourself. If your current life never demands courage, resilience, discipline, or creativity, then you're probably capable of much more than you're demonstrating. Here's something worth remembering. Life rarely changes overnight. People often expect one decision to transform everything immediately. But lasting change is usually built through small choices repeated consistently. One healthier meal, one workout, one page read, one difficult conversation, one application submitted, one new habit. Those tiny decisions may seem insignificant today, but they become the foundation of a completely different future. You don't need to solve your entire life this week. You only need to make the next right decision. Another important truth is that your environment influences your direction. Spend enough time around people who complain, and complaining starts feeling normal. Spend enough time around people who improve themselves, and growth becomes contagious. Your surroundings shape your standards. Protect them carefully. Choose books that challenge your thinking. Choose conversations that inspire action. Choose habits that move you forward instead of holding you back. Most importantly, choose beliefs that expand your possibilities instead of shrinking them. One of the greatest mistakes people make is waiting until they feel completely ready. Readiness is often created through action, not before it. Confidence doesn't appear first. Experience creates confidence. The first step always feels uncertain. That's completely normal. Every new chapter begins with unfamiliar territory. Don't let temporary discomfort convince you that you're on the wrong path. Sometimes discomfort is simply proof that you're growing. Imagine where your life could be 1 year from today if you consistently invested in yourself. Imagine the knowledge you could gain, the relationships you could strengthen, the opportunities you could create, the habits you could master. Your future isn't determined by luck. It's shaped by the decisions you repeatedly make. Every morning offers a choice. Stay the same, or become a little better. Repeat that choice often enough and your entire life begins to reflect it. So if you've recognized yourself in these 5 signs, don't treat them as bad news. Treat them as a wake-up call, a reminder that your story isn't finished, a reminder that your best chapter may still be ahead. You don't have to become a completely different person overnight. You simply have to become slightly better than you were yesterday. Progress beats perfection. Consistency beats intensity. Purpose beats comfort. The future belongs to those who decide that today is the day they stop waiting and start building. Your next chapter is waiting. The only question is whether you're willing to write it.